When you see these 2 days of presentation by Mark Zuckerberg, of course, the legislation that you've brought to protect us won't apply to Facebook. Can you see a position where the European legislation could be applied retrospectively? Is that what we need? I think there was an Illinois Democrat said, who's going to protect us from Facebook? Are you?
Well, I don't think that legislation will apply retroactively, but we actually have legislation in place. And the law that will enter into force next month, on the 25th of May, is actually just a more modern and an updated version of the laws we have. So we have to check very carefully whether the current laws have been respected. I also think that it's very good that we're going through this phase and that all the questions are being asked to Facebook. But Facebook is not the problem, it's the tip of the iceberg. And I think we've been far too lax about data protection and privacy protection. And in a way, it's a very good wake-up call.
Is there one or maybe two questions, Sophie, outstanding that you would like to put to Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, there are lots of questions, and not just to Mark Zuckerberg, because, but I think a lot of questions that I would like to put are also to the supervisors, for example, the European data protection authorities, because this story isn't new. I mean, if people are very surprised now that companies like Facebook are collecting massive amounts of data and actually not terribly interested in our privacy, I mean, you cannot possibly be surprised about that. It's not new. Much of this story has already been written about last year in the Guardian, the British newspaper. So I wonder, why did we have to wait for this scandal to erupt? The data protection authorities could have moved in much earlier, I think. And I do hope that certainly under the new law that enters into force next month, that the data protection authorities are going to be a lot more alert.
I think somewhere in the depths of 2 days of testimony, he was complimentary. Zuckerberg was very complimentary about the Europeans have got this right, in the weeds of what he said. Look, the bottom line is, will it help his case if he comes personally in front of your parliament, as he has done to the United States? Would that help the situation? Would that help inform the situation?
Well, I mean, you have to distinguish very clearly. I do think that Mark Zuckerberg should appear before the European Parliament, yes, because also the data of European citizens are concerned, and this is a major political problem. At the same time, the actual law enforcement is a completely different matter. We have authorities, and they should verify if and to what extent the laws have been broken, and then sanctions should be applied. And they're two very distinct processes. But yes, I do think that he should appear before Parliament, and not just Mark Zuckerberg. I think we also would like to talk to the boss of Cambridge Analytica.